Did you know most people who live past 80 don't live well past 80? Strange, isn't it? They reach that big number, but something fades after. Why is that? Is it just age catching up? Or are there quiet things we've missed along the way? Have you ever felt tired, even when your doctor says you're fine? Or noticed your legs don't move like they used to? Maybe you wake up at night more often. Or just feel alone, even with the TV on. Well, you're not imagining things. And no, it's not just you. Let me tell you something I've learned the hard way, watching old friends slip away one by one. 1. Chronic low-grade inflammation. Inflammaging. I used to think that if something was wrong, I'd feel it. A fever, a sharp pain, a clear sign. But I've learned that some of the most dangerous things in our bodies make no noise at all. There's something doctors now call inflammaging. It's a strange word, but a real problem, especially after 60. It's a kind of slow, silent inflammation that simmers deep inside the body. No swelling, no bruises, just a quiet burn that wears down your organs, your joints, even your brain. You might feel it as stiffness in the morning that lasts longer than it used to, or a heavy kind of tiredness that doesn't go away with rest. Maybe your memory feels foggier than before. Blood tests might still say normal, but something feels off. I remember my friend George walked every day, ate well enough, didn't smoke or drink, but he always looked a little worn out. Tired eyes, a slow step. It wasn't until a specialist looked deeper that they found high inflammation in his blood, not from an infection, just years of quiet, hidden wear and tear. Inflammaging builds slowly, from boxed foods, from poor sleep, from sitting too long, even from unspoken stress. And after 80, our bodies struggle to fight it off. But here's the part that gives me hope. This fire inside it can be cooled. A simple walk each day, more fresh foods, fewer packaged ones, sleep that heals, deep breaths in morning light. These habits aren't just good ideas, they're quiet medicine. Getting older doesn't mean giving in. It means learning the signals that are easy to miss and doing what we can to keep the flame low, one choice at a time. 2. Muscle loss related to aging, sarcopenia. It doesn't happen all at once. That's the tricky part. One day, you're carrying groceries with ease. The next, the stairs seem steeper. Your hands fumble with jars that used to open without a thought. At first, you brush it off. Just a tired day, you tell yourself. But slowly, strength begins to fade. This slow weakening has a name, sarcopenia. It's not a disease that shows up on an X-ray or a single blood test. It's the steady loss of muscle that begins quietly in your 50s and speeds up after 80. And when it comes, it doesn't just take your strength, it takes your balance, your steadiness, your freedom. I remember Frank 80, 4 years old, lived alone, still sharp as ever. Then one afternoon, he tripped over a rug and broke his hip. Just like that, everything changed. He said, "I thought I was still strong." But the truth was, the muscle he once had was gone, and he didn't even notice until it was too late. The danger isn't just the fall, it's what comes after. Days in bed, then weeks. Muscles shrink fast when you don't move. You become afraid to walk too far, and the world gets smaller. But here's what gives me hope. Muscle loss isn't a life sentence. You can fight it, you don't need heavy weights or a fancy gym. Light exercises with bands or small weights, a walk around the block, gentle stretching in the morning sun, enough protein in your meal segs, milk, fish, beans. Muscles are more than strength. They help us stay steady, keep our sugar levels in check, even support how we think and feel. At this age, they're not just muscle, they're protection. So if the chair feels lower than it used to, or the stairs take longer, don't ignore it. Start small, be consistent, because even now your body listens, and it's never too late to build strength again. 3. Poor sleep that weakens the body and mind. There's a kind of tired that coffee can't fix. I used to think waking up 3 or 4 times a night was just part of getting old. It's normal, I'd say, but after a while, I noticed something else. I was forgetting more. I felt slower. I lost interest in things I once enjoyed, and I wasn't the only one. My friend Alice, 86, once told me, "I don't sleep much anymore, but I manage." She didn't think much of it until her energy dropped and her memory slipped. Her doctor explained something I'll never forget. Sleep is not just rest, it's repair. Our bodies heal while we sleep. The brain clears out waste, the immune system resets, muscles recover. But after 60, especially after 80, sleep changes. Deep sleep becomes shorter. We wake up more often. Our body clock gets out of sync. The effects show up slowly. Little fogginess here, a stumble there, a down day that turns into a down week. Poor sleep doesn't always feel like a problem, but it wears us down. The good news is, we can still improve it. I started going to bed at the same time each night. I opened the curtains in the morning. I turned off the TV and phone an hour before bed. Simple steps, but they helped. Some folks need more help, and that's okay. Gentle sleep therapy can work better than pills. It teaches your body how to rest again. If your nights are restless, don't brush it off. Sleep is as important as food and movement, maybe more. It's the base of clear thoughts, steady steps, and strong health. And the truth is, you deserve deep rest, not just to get through the day, but to feel alive in it. 4. Loneliness and the loss of daily purpose. There's a kind of ache that doesn't show up on a scan. It sits quietly in the hours when the house is too still, when the phone doesn't ring, when no one's waiting for you. I remember Bill. He was 88, kept his home tidy, made his meals, watched the news each night. But one day, he said something that stuck with me. Some days, he whispered, "No one says my name." That kind of silence doesn't just hurt the heart, it changes the body. As we age, our circles shrink, friends pass, family moves away. Our roles in life worker, caregiver, host fade, and we feel like we're no longer needed. But we are. The human heart needs connection. We thrive when we belong even in small ways. When that fades, our feel-good chemicals drop, and that touches more than our mood. It affects memory, the immune system, even the will to move. Here's what I've learned. Purpose doesn't have to be big. It can be watering plants, calling a neighbor, writing a note, feeding the birds, making a cup of tea while watching the sky change. I started volunteering once a week. Nothing fancy, just folding towels at the community center. But showing up made me feel useful again. If your days feel too quiet, start small. Find a rhythm. Reach out. Let someone know they matter. You're not invisible. You're not done. Your life still matters. And sometimes, all it takes is one reason to get up, even if it's just to remind someone else they're not alone. So here we are. If there's one thing I've learned in these later years, it's this. Aging doesn't happen all at once. It sneaks in quietly, through tired legs, through restless nights, through long afternoons when no one calls. But just because the changes are quiet, doesn't mean we can't answer them with strength. A little walk each morning, a real meal, a steady bedtime, a reason to rise. None of it takes much. But together, these small things can carry you far past 80 with clarity, with strength, and with a full heart. I'm not here to tell you what to do, but I am here to remind you you're not alone. Your story isn't finished, and every choice you make still matters. Now, I'd love to hear from you. Which part of this video spoke to you the most? Was it the quiet inflammation, the muscle loss you didn't notice until now, the restless sleep, or maybe the feeling of being needed again? Share your thoughts in the comments. Let's build a space where we're not just growing old, but growing together. And if this message meant something to you, hit that like button, subscribe, and ring the bell. It helps more folks like you find their way here. Take care of yourself. And as I always say, don't just count the years, make the years count. Because the best parts of life might still be waiting.